Hello, so today I'm working on putting back together the weapons and the shield units. I took them apart to airbrush the colors separately. So for example, on these rail guns that I attached to the waist of the unit, I airbrushed the white, the dark gray and the metallic parts separately, gave a wash to white parts to make them look a little bit more realistic, like they've been used to kind of show the shadows in the crevices more clearly. And then after doing this, I spray coated everything with a gloss varnish to protect the paint and put things back together. So I can now apply decals where needed and then selectively matte coat the white panels to create a finished look. So this is all good. However, I noticed that the weapons, for example this plasma rifle and also parts of the inner frame, like this hand that will be holding the shield, they are supposed to be the actual exposed metal, and when I spray coated them, spray painted using gunmetal gray and then given a black wash, it looks much better than before. It looks metal rather than plasticky, but I wanted to create a different effect. I wanted them to look black with some shiny metal parts showing just in the selected regions, maybe just on the raised parts. So I've decided to take my time and redo this metal thing. So I'm going to spray them black again and they'll do dry brush, and this is when I'll take a brush, dip it in the metal color, wipe almost all the paint off on the paper towel and then drag the brush across the parts to just hit the raised parts. And that, I saw some videos on YouTube, very impressive. It's kind of a quick technique but creates a very nice effect, so I'm looking forward to trying this. If it works well on these weapons, I'm going to use it for the rest of the inner frame when I paint torso and arms and legs separately. But yeah, the plan for today is to redo the weapons and then, if time permits, apply decal to the shield, put the weapons, the shield back together, and then that would be it. So decals, there are a couple of decals. One is right here on the side of the rifle, and this is this part that it's going to, probably somewhere here. Alright, so here is the design that goes on the plasma rifle. I'm going to cut it out too. So it's important to put it on this side because the rifle is going to be attached to the back of the unit. I want the decal to be visible. It only goes on one side of the rifle anyway. This is a little bit tricky. To the part that's so light. But here we go. So the good thing is, with in theory at least, it should be easy to move it. So I'm going to apply more liquid. It's pretty good. It didn't move as easily as I hoped it would, but it's in the correct spot. And I'm going to now paint it with microsol to let it dissolve. There is also a decal right here on this side of the shield, and this is the part here, so it's going to go right in this area. So here are the decals that would fit according to the instructions to the shield. This part of the shield is dark, so I'm going to use the white design here. So I'm going to cut it out. So using the micro set, right here. So dipping the thing in water and holding just a few seconds. So it probably is already enough, so I'll dab it on the paper towel and then just gently hold it. With the Q-tip and slide this thing off. So now it's still movable, and this is what I will do. I'll just move it around and press down. So that's what we're going to do. There are also a number of decals at the sides of the folded railguns, so they go right in this area, and also on the back. Really curious thing that the Gundam abbreviation, and this is what goes on the back of this railgun, it's right here. This acronym or abbreviation is actually different in different Gundam series. And I looked it up in wiki. It does vary slightly from film to film. In the Gundam Seed, well, in this version anyway, apparently it says Generation Unsubdued Nuclear Drive Assault Mobile Complex. I guess in other movies it's something equally cool and impressive. Okay, now that the decals are drying, and I think these parts, the metal parts that I've painted with gunmetal, they are dried also. So I'm going to now dry brush the aluminum color to it. So I'm going to shake it very well. And I'm going to put this into the same. So this is real dry brushing, so I'm going to saturate the brush with the pigment and completely wipe it off. Now I'm going to drag it across to only highlight the raised parts. Again, let's try it on the hand. So this is supposed to be a subtle effect. So this is a bit of a moment of truth. This is the main piece that I wanted to try this on. And then there is a handle of this shield, which again probably going to be mostly covered, but I'm going to still brush it. So I think this is done, and now what I'd like to do is to paint flat the parts that are supposed to be flat. Actually decided to do another thing. Decided to use the same aluminum dry brush technique on the parts that are supposed to be gunmetal gray here. Yeah, I think on this side it's a little bit better because it's the brush is drier. Well, that's my learning experience. Actually, it's not bad because let's assume that
this gun is attached to the side of the unit, so he's kind of brushes against things. And the problem with the brush marks is that they are drying immediately. The brush strokes, so it's difficult to actually correct them, so you need to kind of mask them with more brush strokes. Still, I like the effect. It's definitely metallic, and you know, in retrospect, it could be done on the over the matte finish. So yeah, that's what I'll do. So for the red parts, I wanted to do also the highlight effect, and I decided to use the copper dry brushing. We'll see how that works. I'm just trying to hit the edge. It seems like very little paint is needed for that. And I'm going to do the same on these parts of the guns. Yeah, this part has a much more subtle effect, which I like. Alright, so now that the weapons are painted, I wanted to put everything together and see how it looks. Everything is weathered, so this plastic on this gun, for example, now looks quite like a metal. I really like it. So I'm going to follow these instructions. I haven't really made photos to document things before I took everything apart, but it's not too complicated, so hopefully it would be an easy assembly. So with this gun, for example, one thing that goes on is the addition of the blue and white pieces on top. So I'll start with that. So again, it snaps together a little tighter than it used to because of the paint, but it's okay. I'm trying to be a little bit careful and not to damage it, but I think some gaps are okay because it looks like a rifle. There's this cool piece which is the sight, and when I was painting it, I covered the lens with the tape, so I'm going to peel it off now. Just peel off masking, and hopefully there will be a clear piece there. Here we go. That's the sight. So here, yeah, the gun is ready. This handle still works. Excellent. It's going to be attached to the back of the unit. So I'm going to set it aside. Oh, and the rail guns are right here. So I already painted and weathered those. I went a little overboard with dry brushing, so the effect of the rubbed metal is a little less subtle than I hope, but it's okay. So it's a good learning experience anyway, and I think it looks pretty good. So following this part of the instructions, this is the back and the front of the shield. So the one component that goes into this piece is this gray part, which I also made to look like metal by dry brushing some aluminum on top of silver. Yeah, so here the shield is now completed. Here we go. This is hand number 2, and this hand will hold the sword, kind of the lightsaber thing. So this is the handle, and this is the plasma part. I was thinking about maybe putting an LED there, but it's just too much trouble for the effect, so I decided not to do it. Looking at my hand, how it would hold the sword, and it's the angle of the thumb is all wrong. Yeah, something like. Alright, and here we go. This is the hand with the sword. This is the one that will hold the shield eventually. These are the weapons. The railgun, everything still works. It can be unfolded, but I'm going to keep it attached in the folded form. And this is the plasma rifle, which looks pretty cool, I think. So that's the stage. So I think I'm dialing down the kind of weathering process, and I'm going to move to other parts, hands, torso, legs, one by one, and that would be the process. I'm already thinking about the next model, so I'm kind of trying to get this done quickly, but at the same time I do want to take time and enjoy the process of building this. So here we go. Until the next time.